and thank you for joining us at the ever-improving No Soundbites Allowed podcast. My name is Michael Vasquez. We thank you for joining us in this adventure of describing the politics that go on in our nation on a personal and local level as often as possible, giving you, the audience, more than just 30 seconds to understand what's going on in our nation. We look forward to joining you as we go. Just sit back, enjoy the ride. Please remember, if you like the episodes, like it, share it, let other people know, and if you can, please donate, even if it's $2, even if it's $5, because it all makes a difference. We thank you, and here we go. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me. This is Michael Voss, the Dragon of the Southern Tier, your favorite host of the best podcast out, especially in the Southern Tier. This is the No Soundbites Allowed podcast. Yes, even I stumble sometimes, even when I say these things. And today we have a great episode because I have the special joy of having a guest in studio with us, speaking about some of the issues that are, well, not just the issues, everything, a little bit of everything. And I'm very happy to introduce Heather Micha is with us. She's laughing at me right now because her name is spelled Micha, which sounds like, you would think it sounds like Micha, but it's Micha. And I screw it up all the time, so she's laughing at me as we speak. Matter of fact, here you are. You're with us now. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing fine, other than screwing up your last name and making myself look so terrible. I apologize.
That's all right, it happens.
Yeah. And as everyone hears, the ever popular Khan is in the background making some little noise as well. So we're always happy to have guests here on the program, and we thank you for joining us. And we do appreciate all of our fans who listen into the program every week. And so we do thank you for that. Now, Heather, we've spoken a couple times before, and I'm happy to have you here today. I know there's a lot of things that people are going to be very interested about. You have a great story, and I think a lot of people would want to hear about it. So rather than me tell people, I'll let you tell a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, I am a local business owner. I own Nice to Meet You Cleaning Service. I'm also the president of New York State Women, and I am on the board for Broome County Republican Women's Club.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big range of things and a lot of great accomplishments.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very impressed. Now, you left out a couple of things in there because I know we've been talking a little bit about it. And you're also a mom.
Yes.
That's right. 2 sons.
2 sons.
Yeah.
Emmanuel and Ezekiel.
Good names.
Yes.
Nice biblical, strong names.
With great meanings.
Yeah. How old are they?
Ezekiel's 3 and Emmanuel is 9.
Oh, good ages too. So just about getting into the football and all the sports,
Yeah.
going for varsity soon.
He played baseball this summer. I'm not really sure if I'm going to put him in football just yet.
Oh, come on. Let him go.
He's
Football.
a builder. He's really good with math. I don't know if that's his strong point.
Okay, but that's a good thing. And obviously you know your kids really well.
Yes.
That's always a good thing. And I know it's a big challenge, though, to be able to have a business, to be involved in the different organizations, and to raise a child.
And you're also in school as well.
And you're in school as well. And I should add, and I hope it's okay to mention, that you're a single mom.
Yes.
So you're doing this all together.
Yeah.
That's an incredible mix. I mean, that's just, you hear about this. These are some of the success stories that you hear out there about someone who's got all the challenges, but yet makes all of them work.
Yes, it is definitely challenging.
So how did you come to this place? How did this all come together for you?
Well, I started my cleaning business probably 6-7 years ago. I was just tired of working for other people. Wanted to be independent and have more free time to spend with my children. So that's how that came around. New York State Women, I kind of got put into this position. Probably about a year or 2 ago, I was working on an event, which was for the children who have lost their parents from heroin and opiates and are affected by it. And long story short, it fell through. but everybody saw my great passion and energy and desire, and felt it was a good idea for me to get involved with New York State Women. And as I became the president, I realized I had no idea how to even run an organization.
Well, no one does until they
No.
actually try to. Even then, it's a real difficult thing. You always want to try to make sure. This is the first time you were on radio, so you just
Can't
always
hear me.
well, you always want to face the mic. It makes
Okay.
gives it an echo otherwise. But that's just an incredible process to get into that, to have that opportunity for
Yes.
people to see that you have that
Yes.
leadership capability. And I'm not surprised because you're a business owner.
Yes.
And very often people with small businesses are the leaders because you have to be.
Yeah.
You know, you're the person there. It's yours. So you have to make those executive decisions. And that kind of, I think, would fall into some of the other work you do with the New York New York State Women Incorporated.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised by that. So, and I see the program's been working pretty well. You've been doing well there. You've had the two annual picnics that I'm aware of. You've had a couple of events this year, right?
Yeah.
Like which ones?
Well, I will list the one that really made an impact on me personally. We, few women got together and we did a special event for a few young ladies who are in the children's home. And this was probably the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. All the women come together, you know, different backgrounds, different stages of life, participating, bringing in cookies to decorate. You know, we had a musician play in the background. A lady who owns a hair salon, she actually connected with one of the little girls. And a year later, she just told me recently that this little girl comes to her salon and she helps teach her, which I thought was beautiful.
Moving her into a career and giving her an opportunity to just grow and expand herself. And that's always a wonderful thing. That's a mentorship.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. I mean, too many kids nowadays don't have mentors or someone to look up to in business and say, hey, I want to be like them, whether it's a boy or a girl. And so it's a wonderful thing to hear that that's something that your organization's being able to put together.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We plan on doing it again this year. We also, last year, I went around and got a whole bunch of women together to advertise on billboards. So that was being raised for our scholarship fund, which we just changed, and I'm excited about.
Oh, how's that?
Well, before it was for high schoolers, which we also support, but we changed it in the aspect of our mission statement to help women personally and professionally and politically. So,
Yeah, that is an interesting. I know that your mission statement, and I'm looking at your website right now. Actually, I'm looking at the website for the main organization, the New York State Women Incorporated, and their mission statement is to build powerful women personally, professionally, and politically, with a vision to make a difference in the lives of working women.
yes.
I think that's a powerful statement in and of itself, and that's for the entire organization. And you have branches all across New York.
Yes.
And I know the organization's been around since 1919.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people may not be aware that it was created in preparation of World War I, for women to be able to take over when men went off to the war, to take over and continue to have the country operate and keep moving forward. It was one of the big advancements for women, even before they had the vote. I think it was the 20th. I always forget that. For women to be able to vote, even before they could be able to vote, they were already moving into business because of this organization. So that's an important thing.
Yes. Very strong background women who want to make a difference, not just in, working women, but in women in general.
So it's a great organization, and I know that you look at women of all ages and all backgrounds and all the whole smorgasbord, the whole rainbow of what women are and what they do are all involved in this organization. Is that right?
Yes. We have women we have a doctor, we have attorneys, we have a bakery, a hair salon, a cleaning business, which is myself.
Yeah.
Just all types of, women from all ages, all groups, all ethnicities, just working together, even if it's just to network. Some people just come, to have a social hour. We also have educational panels. Each month it's different. We have a political panel. We'll have some candidates come in and speak. Women come in and talk about how if you wanted to run for office, the steps to go about it. We have the personal panel. We invite local business owners or, motivational speakers to come in and just inspire us.
That's important.
Yes.
Inspiration leads to everything, Challenges in life and inspiration come together, and that's how we all succeed. At least that's been my experience. I think it's pretty accurate for most people.
Yes.
So that's always interesting. And when women are interested, I assume you're always looking to recruit and
Yes.
more women to come in. How do they do that?
Well, right now, you can go on our website, which is NYSW Binghamton, BINGHAMTON.org. And there's a membership application. You can click on that, sign in your information, and there is a membership fee of $100.
Okay. Is that a one-time fee or annual fee?
Annual. Well, every year, yeah, annual.
Okay. And so it's pretty easy. You can go right online then. And so you could do it theoretically off your phone or off a tablet as well as a computer.
Actually, do not do it on your phone. We had a really bad experience with that.
Okay. So,
For some reason, it does not work on the cell phone. So you have to do it on a computer.
okay. Well, good thing I brought that up.
Yes.
Someone would go out there and try it and on the cell phone be like, it's not working.
No.
Okay. So that's good to know that. Makes it easy. Con. Yes, the little puppy's in the background. He's just losing his mind. You know what his name is? His full name?
Fluffy?
No. Definitely not Fluffy. It's Genghis Khan.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Not after Star Trek. He's actually named after the original conqueror of the known world. Not that he's, able to conquer anything except probably the living room. Yeah,
He's so cute, though.
Yeah. For people who don't know, if you haven't seen this picture, which is far more popular than any picture I've ever done, no, he's stellar. Everyone loves him. He's about 5 years old. He's 15 pounds, half Bichon, half Scotty. So just gives you an idea of what he looks like. And he's a little character. But getting back to some of the things. So that's a very interesting group. And I am very interested in that. And I'm glad that women can just come in. Can they come by and just come to one of the monthly meetings without having to join up?
Well, there is a dinner fee. It ranges from $25 to $35, depending on which location we decide to go to.
But they get a whole dinner with that.
Yeah. They get dinner, presentation, guest speakers. Our first one's going to be something new, something old, which everyone's bringing in gently used purses. We're going to auction them off and trade them. It's a whole game. It's a fun process. So
okay. So for $25, $35, they get everything. They get a full meal. They have the opportunity to maybe get new purses and more importantly, to be able to network and hear about the speakers.
Well, the $25, $35 is just for the dinner. You have to pay extra for the purses. But yes.
Okay. Well, this is how we find out, know. Yeah. But I don't know what purses are worth or how you do it, so I don't know anything about that.
It's a fundraiser to raise money for our scholarship.
Okay. So it goes for a good cause.
Yeah.
So it's not just, it's to further even other women, younger women, just coming out into the workplace, just coming out into the world, or maybe their moms, and they need the help, and so that helps them advance that way. Is that right?
Yeah. If you're going back to school, if you're going to a trade school, you need help with your business, we're giving out 2 $500 scholarships.
So that helps a lot. Yeah, that's a good cause to raise money for. Yes. So I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. And that's important. So, but that's not the only thing that you do. And I want to also touch in on a little bit on some of those other things that you do. Because, and we just hinted at it, but what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. And then we're going to come back and we're going to touch on all the other great things that you're doing. Because I think it's really impressive. I have to tell you, I'm very impressed by a lot of what you do. And we're going to go with Matt Cornwell's The World Turns. As the World Turns. It's a great song. So we'll go with that for this break.
All right.
Yeah. got no damn patience. Excuses why we cannot do this face to face. And then we cry, wonder why we ain't on the same damn page. If there's one thing I know, it's that this world keeps turning. No one seems concerned. Whoa, it's that this world keeps turning. It's one thing I learned. 'Cause mama don't sleep at night since the sun done up and down. Ain't no brother's keeper, and no one looking out for the sisters neither. And these families ain't no families, and no one giving second chances. I don't understand why. It seems like this world keeps turning. No one seems concerned. Yeah. Lately I'm feeling like you don't see me the same way. Excuses, but it's written on your face. And then we fight another night. This time we've been wasting. No, I don't understand why we could have it all and throw it all away. Just 'cause everything we want don't go our way. Why? Just take a look outside, people losing lives. I'm just trying to see this world is much bigger than you and I. Lady, I'm feeling like we could make this all okay. No excuses, girl, we need to find a way and take our time and do this right before this all fades away. 'Cause if there's one thing I learned, it's that this world keeps turning. If there's one thing I learned, it's that this world keeps turning. No one seems concerned. It's that this world keeps turning. No one seems concerned. It's that this world keeps turning. No one seems concerned.
Hello, everybody. That's right. We're back. We're back here at the No Soundbites Allowed podcast. We had a great song there, a little bit of an intermission. And we're happy to be here with you to talk about, well, Heather L. Micha and all of the events she's working on. And of course, we all appreciate you and everything that you do and everything that you bring to this by listening into the program. Now, one of the things that we want to go over, something I left out in the last segment when we were talking about the New York the New York State Women Incorporated, is you have a couple of events coming up, and that's my fault. I should have brought that up, but you wanted to mention something about that.
Yes, in November 14th, we are going to hold our first holiday expo, trying to bring local business owners together and support one another for last day Christmas shopping, which we are currently looking for jazz bands or musicians who would be willing to volunteer their time and play for an hour or so while this event is being held.
That's not too long, an hour at the event. That's hopefully there's a band out there, or especially a jazz band. I'm not sure about jazz bands, but I'm sure there's got to be a couple bands that would be willing to put their name to this and get the exposure out there to be part of this event, helping to build up business in the Broome County and Binghamton and help smaller businesses and mid-sized businesses to grow.
Yes.
I mean, that's always a positive for a lot of people. So hopefully they'll listen into this. And how would they contact you?
You can email me. It's michacleaning@gmail.com.
That is M as in Mike, I as in Indigo, C as in Charlie, H as in Hotel, A as in Alpha, cleaning dot...
At gmail.com.
Oh, at gmail.com. Okay. Yeah, the military, it always sticks with you. I can't help it. But So that was one thing I wanted to talk about, and I did want to bring that up, and I apologize again for not getting that into the last segment, but that's the whole show is for you, so we'll cover everything. In fact, one of the other things that I wanted to talk about is also you're part of the Broome County Republican Women's Club,
Yes, sir.
and you're involved with that. Now, there's a little interesting story about being, it's unique. You're a woman, you're a Republican, and I have to ask, is that kind of like, for people who don't realize it, I'm Black Puerto Rican, and I'm a Republican. I'm a conservative Republican, and some people may be aware I ran for Congress at one point. In fact, I was just up at the Utica covering the president as one of the part of the White House pool. So it's kind of interesting. I know that when people find out about me, the first thing that they always tell me is, "But Mike, you're Black." I'm like, and that's the shade of my skin. What's that got to do with anything else? Do you ever get any kind of reaction like that?
Not necessarily because I'm a woman, more of people trying to turn me into a Democrat is what the reaction I receive.
Really?
Yes.
Well, see, no one ever does that. Well, maybe because they know I do this kind of stuff, and so everyone has an idea, or people who know about it have a preconceived idea of how I would react to that. But they try to turn you into
Yes.
What did they say?
They say, you are a Democrat. You are on the wrong side. You need to come on our side. And I look at them and say, no, I am a Republican.
Do they know anything about you before they say that?
Some do, some don't.
That's always interesting. I always find it interesting when they say, well, you just don't understand. I'm like, you have no idea what I understand. How can you say that?
Well, they mainly just assume because I'm very active in the community, they kind of relate me with Democrats in that way.
That's interesting because I do a lot of, I'm part of like 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 nonprofits that I work on.
Yeah.
Which have nothing to do with politics. They're just nonprofits, and I'm involved in them.
Very active.
Yeah, I stay busy. None of it makes any money for me, but I do it anyway because it's just my giving back. Yeah. And I find it interesting that sometimes people want to put politics into that, even though it really doesn't have any place. Do you run into that?
Yeah, a lot. I try to avoid that conversation.
Okay. No, I can understand. It can be very trying sometimes.
Some people kind of attack you, and once they find out you're Republican, they don't want to be your friend anymore, which is unfair. And
yeah, I've had that happen.
That's our world we live in today, right?
Oh yeah, I've had that happen a lot. Where I'll have a conversation with someone for whatever reason, and then they go, "You're a Republican." Like something will come up, and I'll be like, "Oh, Governor Cuomo, how dare he say America is not great?" And I go, "Wait a minute, are you a Republican?" I'm like, "Yeah." "Oh my God, I can't talk to you. You're just the devil."
Yeah, they attack you. Like, how can you approve what Trump's doing and this and that?
It's like, well, I don't approve of everything he does. I have my own thoughts, Yeah. Just because he's president doesn't mean I, worship at his feet and go, everything he says is right. Take the Twitter away from Trump. Number one. I said that before he got elected. I'll say it now. But, I do empathize with that, and that's kind of interesting. And I do a lot of the women in the Broome County Republican Women's Club. Do they go through that as well that you're aware of?
I'm not aware. I haven't asked any of them. A lot of them their husbands are highly involved in Republicans and great leaders in the area.
Okay. So they're used to this, perhaps, and kind of run into this before.
I would assume so, yes.
And I know that organization, they do a lot. I know that they've had some invites to my event on Monday, August 20th, over at the Vestal Public Library, talking about the red flag legislation. And I thank the organization with you, and also to them out there for letting people know about that. But I know they do a lot of other things too. Are there any other activities that are coming up near term that you know of?
We have our first board meeting on August 22nd.
Okay.
So I'm not too sure of what's happening yet. We're trying to work everything together. We did just have our fundraiser for Doug's Fish Fry.
That's right. Yeah. That was on the 15th.
Yes.
And it was very successful, as I understand.
Yes, it
Raised
was.
a lot of money.
Yeah.
So that was a great event. And I know a lot of people were very happy to hear about it and to be part of it. Doug's Fish Fry did a great job with that.
Yeah.
And so the 22nd, next week, is when you set up the next
board meeting.
and get everything put into place.
We'll have our yearly outline all established.
Oh, there you go. Okay. And so when you do get that, you got to let me know.
Yeah.
And that'll be an excuse for you to get back on the show and tell us all about, all the different things that you're going to be doing with that organization and how it's going to be moving forward. I know the Broome County Republican Women's Club. It's a long one.
Yeah.
The initials are BCRWC, right?
Yep.
That's just as hard as saying it all the way out. A little bit of a tongue twister.
I will say, Deborah Hogan, she is our president. She has some great insight, and she really wants to get us involved in the community more. Yeah. That's about as much as I know until the 22nd, so we'll find out.
And I do, for full disclosure, I do know Deborah, and she's a great friend.
She's wonderful.
And she does, that woman, if I had half the energy she has, when she just does everything.
Yeah.
She's everywhere. And I thought I'd get around a lot. And she's just, she can get so many programs and so many activities done. Yeah. And she's so good at that.
She's an inspiration.
That she is. For men, women, everybody. She's just incredible. And I know everybody who's worked with her have been very happy to have her there because she's just right on point and she's very active. So I know she's going to do a great job with the women at the club. Now, there was also, in terms of the cleaning, and I want to also talk about your business a little bit. Okay. Because you go out and you have other employees, or is it just you? Or
right now, it's just me. I hire employees when I have huge commercial jobs or when the college students leave. There's a lot of cleanouts, a lot of big messes around here. And I need my services.
College students are known, especially the BU students.
Yes.
They are so known for...
they leave nice messes.
Yeah, they don't leave things the way they found them.
No.
Not very often.
Nope.
So that's pretty impressive. I always find it interesting how people find unique businesses, these small businesses that fill a niche and get things done that maybe someone would miss or not realize. And so you've been successful with that. Is it based out of Broome County?
Yep, out of Binghamton.
Oh, right out of Binghamton. So there you go. So that's always good. And again, the name of that is Nice to Micha Cleaning Service.
Yes.
Yes, I got it right this time.
We clean your home and or business as if it were our own.
Oh, so that's the tagline.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it. That's a good tagline.
If you check us out on Facebook, like our page, you can see much of my work.
What's the Facebook for it?
Nice to meet you. Cleaning service.
Okay. And Micha, by the way, again, folks, is M-I-C-H-A, not Micah. M-I-C-H-A. Micha. So
I'll get it eventually.
I work on it. I get it. It's the
nice
reading
to
thing.
meet you.
I don't have my glasses on, so that's part of the problem. I just hate having them on. But and I don't need them for most things, but sometimes I do. So that's another aspect. But I did want to talk a little bit more about being a woman, a single mom, a Republican. How did you always know you were a Republican? Were you always a Republican?
Yes. At one point I was independent, and then I came to the conclusion that I want to vote, in every campaign possible. So I changed to Republican side, and I've been with ever since. I joined Broome County Republican Women's Club in the aspect of gaining knowledge, connecting with more women locally, personally, just educating myself because there's a lot of things going on. And if I can help out and get involved in any way, this would be a great connection.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so that's on Facebook. So if people want to find that there, they can go there. And also there's the Broome County Republican Women's Club is also on Facebook. So they can check out some of the activities that are going there and some of the updates that are on that. Looking at the Facebook page as we speak, in fact. So there's a whole lot of things that are going on. I know we were talking, so some of the bigger issues, let's talk a little bit about politics because, that's what I do in the show. I cover politics a lot. There's a lot of issues that are going on Did you hear about Governor Cuomo and his statement yesterday?
Yes.
Oh, so for those who may not have heard about it somehow, or if you're not in New York State, you may not have heard about it. I know I have people who listen to this all around the world, but in New York State, the governor is Andrew Cuomo. And Governor Cuomo made a statement yesterday. He was basically trying to take a dig at President Trump because many people expect not only is he looking for re-election in the 2018 election, but in 2020, he's looking to be running for president. And he mentioned that America was never that great, which, that's the quote from him. And it's just mind-boggling that he made this statement. And a lot of people, Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, libertarians, everyone's pissed off about this. How dare he say this? Because I think it's a great country.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you heard about that?
Obviously, he's a negative type person, and, compared to other countries in the world, we do have a lot to offer, and that's one thing in this community I try to bring the light to, the fact that we can lay our head at night and not worry about somebody, explosions outside of our window, example. We have running water, we have electricity, we have the right, to voice our opinion. Well, I hope so.
No, so far. There are some who would like to take that away,
Yes.
Especially for those of us on the right. They're not necessarily very happy about us, some of the things that we say, which are very fact-based and true, but they just don't like it.
Yeah.
And I've run into that too. Are there any issues that are big issues for you?
As in America?
Well, yeah.
I mean, America is great. New York State is kind of expensive to live in. So there's always that struggle, especially as a single mom, to raise money to take care of my family, and with the high taxes. I mean, that's a concern.
It's crazy. We're like the second highest in the nation in terms of taxes. What did you feel about, I know that I've seen a lot of businesses we had on one side, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act that came out, helped a lot of small businesses, helped increase the margin of profit that were there and helped businesses either have greater success or stabilize their businesses. But here in New York State, at the very same time that we got that benefit for small businesses, Governor Cuomo and the state assembly passed about $1 billion in new fees and taxes on individuals and onto businesses. And it kind of ate up, as most businesses I've talked to tell me that it ate up all of the savings and the benefit from the tax cut. Did you experience that too?
Yes and no. I've experienced a medium tax cut because right now I kind of I'm working on more clientele. So, but maybe that's the part where he thinks America's not great. He's imprinting it and making it bad,
Yeah, he's slamming people. He's slamming businesses.
Everybody's leaving, like nobody wants to have a business here. It's just outrageous. I could move down south and buy a house for half the price and start a business and
You get bigger
More
house,
money,
more property, and less cost. And he's driven out, the estimate is now 1.2 million people. A lot of people don't realize what that means. We're probably in 2020 when we did the census. If it continues in this process, we're going to lose at least 2 congressional seats, possibly 3.
wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. At least 2, possibly 3. That's huge. That's destroying our ability to have any influence in the country in making laws and having our voices shared and having, being able to get money from the federal government for various programs to help out the state, help pay our bills. I mean, on top of the fact that, State Controller Tom DiNapoli just came out about a month ago now and announced that in 3 years, the New York State debt is going to go from $9 billion to $18 billion. We're doubling the debt in New York State. It's going to be insane.
That is insane. That's just not right.
No, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And I
Stop to that.
I always find that the spending, it's all about the spending.
Yeah.
We're just spending. It's not that there isn't money out there. It's that they're spending faster than we can get the money in.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of the problem. And it's true on the federal level as well as the local level. But, it's we have to stop the spending because we just can't keep pace.
Yeah.
It's just driving us into bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid for businesses. I'm afraid for individuals and what that could mean. But I also see that we just came up on the next break. So we're going to take a quick moment. I know the house is a little warm. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come right back, and then we'll go into the final segment. Okay?
All right. Sounds good.
All right. And we're going to listen to, there we go, Adam Ate the Apple.
I bring the matches, you bring the gasoline. Let's do it right, oh let's make a scene. There's no survivors, no survivors on this road we're on. Lead me astray, you little pussycat. Let's take this day and make it a disaster. Oh, I know what you're after. Happily ever after ain't a joke to you. You stilled the hand, won the knife. Yes, Lord, will you please spare this life? He said no. There's no survivors on this road wrong. Bring the matches, you bring the gasoline. Let's do it right, oh let's make a scene. There's no survivors, no survivors on this road wrong. No survivors, no survivors on this road we're on.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for being here with us at the ever-popular No Soundbites Allowed with your host, Michael Voss, the Dragon of the Southern Tier, and we do appreciate you and all that you do. And so, we're here with our special guest, Heather, and she's doing fantastic. Heather Micha.
Oh, you got it right.
And of course I got it right. I've been practicing.
Third time's a charm.
Of course. I'm just so embarrassed that I got it wrong before. It really is. I usually get that right.
I get that a lot, actually.
It happens. And God knows how many times. Do you know how many times I've been called Velez? I'm like, the name is Vasquez. That's why I go by Voss so often. It's because people can't figure it out. Yeah, it's like Voss. One syllable. You got it. So I do understand how that goes sometimes, and that's why I try and get it right. So I do apologize for that. But I did want to take a moment. We're here in the final segment. We're talking about a lot of things that have motivated you, not just politically, but also in terms of just life and the challenges as a woman, a single mom, a business owner, and someone involved in the community as well, all the things that are involved there. But one thing we haven't talked about yet, and I do want to touch on, is school, because you're also a student.
Yes, sir.
I don't know how you have the time for it all.
Me either. Well, school's starting in September 4th, so I will be a bookworm for a while.
Are you at SUNY Broome or SUNY Binghamton?
Empire State College. It's
Empire.
online. Yeah.
Okay. And what degree are you going for?
Going for my bachelor's in science, entrepreneurship, and business. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm actually taking a course this semester of writing my degree plan.
Oh, okay. So it hasn't been finalized yet.
Not yet, but I'm aiming in that direction.
How many years do you think you got?
Probably a year and a half, 2 years, maybe less.
So you're kind of like a sophomore at the moment.
I have some school underneath, so.
Oh, that's pretty good. I went to college over at Rutgers University, and I did the worst thing possible. And this is a few years ago, of course. Subtle hint about my age. It's a few years ago. But when I went in there, I went under the misguided thought of I just wanted knowledge. Yeah. So I took a lot of different courses in philosophy, chemistry, biochemistry, English, and don't use any of it ever. Mm-hmm. Like so many people, I used none of it, but I actually never got a degree. Yeah. It's one of the things I've always been a little upset about. It's like I should have got the degree.
You just finished it.
Yeah, I just went on, started working and went to the Marines and life happened. So I never got to do that. But it's got to be interesting to be finishing up. And is it easier because you're doing it at Empire State rather than going to a school itself?
I would say no. I think it's a lot harder. I'm more of a visual learner. I like to raise my hands and ask a million questions. And online, you don't have that opportunity as much. It's a lot more reading, definitely a lot more writing than normal, as if I were going to class.
Right, because you got to type in your questions and everything.
They give you a lot of work.
Okay.
They're making me work for my degree.
Well, that's got to be fun, though, in a way as well, though, because you get to hear and learn new things that may apply to business or some of the other things that you're doing.
Yeah. Last semester, I took a course in entrepreneurship, and I have never read a book so fast in my life. I absolutely loved it.
Oh, big book or?
No, there was 2 books. There was an entrepreneurship for mothers, for single mothers, actually.
I didn't know there was a book like that.
Yeah.
What's it called? Do you remember?
Entrepreneurship for single mothers.
Well, that makes it easy. Okay.
And then there was
That's the
just
title.
an entrepreneurship. But the mother one basically had the concept of taking a hobby and turning it into a business, which is easy. You're at home with your children. If you're a crafty type person,
Just make crafts that people would like to have.
Yeah, that's an example. But, anything that, a single mom does on the side that she really enjoys, you could turn it into a business.
Okay, so I got to ask, does that mean that like cleaning is your thing, that you just love cleaning?
Oh, no. No. I'm just really good at cleaning.
Oh, okay.
It's a stepping stone. It's really grown me tremendously in the business realm. Learning to connect and network and sell your name.
Well, never hurts.
People pronounce it correctly.
Yes. And if they won't get it right, hit them with a broom or something. Just make them learn. You're going to get it right yet.
Well, the whole catch line is nice to meet you. So when you walk in the door, it breaks the awkwardness.
Yeah.
When you first meet someone.
Gets it right in there in the head, which is not how we got introduced, which is why I didn't get it right. I'm going to use that excuse. It may not be right, but I'm going to go with that.
But I met you in a political realm.
I know. And so I was just, and then that's a whole nother environment for me.
Professionalism.
Oh, yeah. As opposed to me goofing around like I usually do. I'm not always as professional as it sounds like on the program. I do goof around and have fun too. And some people may hear that. And I know you heard the growl of the stomach.
I didn't hear it.
Oh, good. Well, I just gave it away. Okay. But in terms of school, so that was an important book and it had an impact on your life.
Yes.
Would you recommend it to other women?
Of course, I would. I've actually, a few years ago, when I first started my cleaning business, I made card holders, which held up to 30 cards, and I hung them around town, and everybody stole them.
Really?
So I was thinking, maybe that's something I could start up on the side, And
That sounds kind of interesting because I don't have a card holder. I need one.
well, there's a picture on my Facebook page.
Oh, okay. Well, I was looking at that when I was doing the research for this, but, I didn't look at the photos really. I got to say. This because I was trying to read and try and get a good grasp. So I apologize for that.
No, that was just something that kind of drew from that book. It was a hobby I was doing a few years ago just for myself and for fun, and I enjoyed it. So,
well, and that also gives everyone a reason to go and see the site. They got to go and see your card holders and see how that looks. So there they go. And you have a nice card, by the way. Did you design it yourself?
No, Drew Lewis did.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah.
Did a good job.
Yes, he did.
Covers everything. So that's a pretty good job.
I was actually, I was very precise in what I wanted. And the hand is actually his wife's hand.
Oh.
When he took the photo.
Oh, cool. Had a little modeling there.
Yeah.
Hand modeling.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
Came out perfect.
I think it's very clear and it's very exact. So that's always important in a card. So we've covered a lot of things about college, about life, about kids to an extent. Is there anything that we haven't touched on? Any kind of thoughts, or was there something else, especially in politics, that stands out in your mind that you wanted to talk about or might be interesting?
Politics. Well, I'm just excited to see what's going to happen in the primaries in September. Is it the 14th?
It's going to be the 13th, actually. 13th? September 13th. Mm-hmm. That's all right. Most people don't remember either. I have it on like 3 different calendars. Otherwise, I wouldn't remember myself.
I will say I'm tired of seeing the degrading commercials on TV of the candidates. I know that's not really a...
You mean like the Brindisi attack ads?
Yeah.
Especially the ones from Pelosi. She really is packed in.
I feel bad. It doesn't seem very fair, but I guess that's the game, right?
Well, it's a little bit more than just that. I mean, they're going pretty far on some of these.
Yeah.
They're kind of vicious, some of them.
Yeah. Especially with Claudia Tenney.
Yeah, they're going after her and everything. I mean, it's one thing to go after someone's record if you disagree with it or you find fault with it. It's another thing to make it more personal.
Yeah.
And I think they're kind of crossing the line with that personally.
What was it? A couple months ago, they were spending about $45,000 on campaigns against her.
No, it's actually $584,000.
That was 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's
and
gone
Nancy
up.
Pelosi's been pumping in money in this area. It's the number 2 campaign that she's backing for Anthony Brindisi. And her attack ads are just crossed over the 500,000 mark now, almost 600,000. That's just her ads, not including his. So that's pretty steep.
That's definitely gone up. That's wow.
That's a lot of spending in our area. We don't usually see that kind of money poured into our elections in this region. So if it feels like it's an overwhelming amount of negative ads coming into this, that's because of them. They're definitely pushing it. So it's kind of interesting. And so let me ask you, as a woman, knowing that Claudia Tenney is a woman, and she's our incumbent congresswoman, do these kind of negative ads, when you see them attacking her, does that make you feel, you mentioned you feel bad for her, but does that...
It bothers me. Actually, in another course I took last semester, it was about leadership and how women have to work like twice as hard as men just to move up the ladder. And Claudia Tenney is obviously one of those women who have made it up the ladder. And to see her be degraded, I don't know if it's all because she's a woman. That definitely bothers me because it should not be that way,
It's definitely not how they treat other men.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there is that big difference there. I should ask, have you ever met Claudia Tenney?
No, I have not.
Okay. Well, just because I know people will ask, well, did you meet her? Is that personal? No, it's just based on the commercials then.
Yeah, we had, what was it? June? No. Back in June, we had a candidate meeting, and she was supposed to come, but she actually sent us a video, so, just to hear her side of the story and what she's, really running for and pushing for. I was inspired,
That's a great thing. Yeah, you don't hear that. You know what? You never hear that in radio talk shows like on WMBF and some other programs. You don't hear about the fact that, hey, she's an inspiration.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people forget that sometimes, that, people look up and say, hey, she's made it. She's had a success. She's inspiring me. And I assume there may be the same thing for Anthony Brindisi on some of his supporters, and I won't detract from that. But that's something that probably should be taken into account when people are putting out these negative ads, that, hey, there are people who are being inspired by some of these candidates. Maybe that negativity isn't necessary to that degree, because you're taking away from that inspiration.
Yeah.
And that could be negative. It's a negative that no one really talks about in politics.
Well, just seeing her, it gives you hope and a desire that one day I could be that woman,
No, well, okay. Well, that's an important thing. I know we've covered a lot of ground here today, and I've had a great time. Did you enjoy this?
Yeah, it was very fun.
I know you've never had someone record and do this before, so you did great, and it's always a great experience. And I want to thank you for coming in and taking the time to speak with us about all these various issues and learning more about you. And you're always welcome to come in back onto the program, of course, and give us updates with all of the organizations. Yeah. And of course, we want to hear the success of the business continuing to grow. Always looking forward to that. And your grades, we're going to check on that. It's like, want to hear about those classes.
It was an honor. Thank you.
Absolutely. We look forward to it. And with that, folks, we're going to end the program. I'll, of course, be back next week. Actually, on Saturday, I'm doing the Facebook Live simulcast of the No Soundbites Allowed podcast. So you'll be able to contact me on my Facebook page, and you'll be part of the program, talking and giving direct feedback to me about all the issues of the day, whatever it is that's on your mind in terms of politics that have been going on last week or even longer, and talk about that. And on Monday, again, I invite everyone to come to the Vestal Public Library, where at 7 p.m. I'll be speaking about the red flag legislation and the consequences of that legislation. It's free and open to the public. Come on down. I'm always happy to speak with everyone. It may well be, and according to my research, it will probably be the most comprehensive conversation about this legislation that's sweeping the nation, and yet no one knows about it. So I hope to see you there. But with that, I'm going to leave everybody with a final song, and I hope everyone has a great week and weekend.
I ain't had you waste. I don't even remember how you taste on my lips. Used to be something I needed. Now I see I had a reason. I was bummed out, stressed out, yeah. Think you made me feel the best I had. For a minute I thought I needed you. Now I'm seeing through all of the reasons that I made up in my head. I'm breaking the habit. I'm breaking the habit. I'm breaking the habits that I had, 'cause look where it's got me. Searching for myself, didn't know I lost me. I ain't no saint. Let the devil have a way. I regret it every day. I was bummed out, stressed out, yeah. Think you made me feel the best I had. For a minute I thought I needed you. Now I'm seeing through all of the reasons that I made up in my head. I'm breaking the habit. I'm breaking the habit. I'm breaking the habit. I'm breaking the habit. I'm breaking